What is going on YouTube? Carfax King of the Otherverse SVE here with another deck profile. So today, guys, we're going to go over my competitive Dirt Rune deck. I believe I'm definitely going to be playing this deck in my next tournament. I'm like, very excited. I've been testing with this deck. The deck has definitely been testing very well and holding its own. But I really wanted to break this deck out because I really like the Rite mechanic. I really like the mid-rangey style that this deck definitely has. I love the burn that it can deal to the opponent. This deck just has a lot of components that are really working for it from the early game to the mid game. So I'm just really enjoying the way this deck is being played. So I wanted to go ahead and go through my Rite Rune deck for you guys, and you guys let me know what you guys think as well. So obviously we're going to start out with, and you guys, if you guys saw the budget deck series, this is just an upgrade to the deck. So we have our Season of Creations, a stack, Earth Sigil stack, draw cards, simple, easy, ready to go. Crafty Warlock at 3, again, another staple card. Last Rites, we get a Sediment token. Evolve, we get a Sediment token plus 1 stack. I went to 2 Fire Chain in this, still running with a 2 Fire Chain in this build, just some easy kind of like single target spread-ish type of damage. You can deal 3 to something, just generically good Runecraft removal. 3 copies of Alchemist Workshop. Again, we're gonna go with our Earth Sigils. We're gonna get our Strike from Golems out. I really love this card turn 2 against people that drop and ward the Bellringer Angel. 3 of our pseudo boss card, our Ancient Alchemist. The strategy I do like to use with this card, and the reason why I only have 2 copies of her really in the Evo deck, because you're not really going to go into her 3 times in the game. Her Evo cost is 3. It's very expensive, but what we can do is we can summon her early game on turn 3 on curve, get our 2 guard from golem tokens into our EX area, and then turn 4, you know, she's a 2/5, so she is a pretty beefy body. And you know, she can't get banished by Priest of the Cudgel either, so keep that in mind. The next turn you can evo her for 3. Then you'll have 1 play point now where you can move a guard from golem into the EX area. You can burn your opponent for 3 or hit something on their field for 3, whatever the situation calls for. But you can hit something for 3, get your guard from golem up there, and then be able to ward up, and then you can protect her. Just a fantastic card. You can get her early game, and then as long as she just stays there, especially in her evolve form, you got anytime you put a golem onto the board, you got burn damage coming. 3 copies of Demon Flame Mage. Again, this is just for spread damage. You can cut her down to 2. I only have 2 evos for her, so you can cut her down to 2 for a different card in the deck if you wanted to. I just have her at 3 because she's a card I want to see, especially, again, like I said, in my area, we definitely have a lot of sword. We got, you know, hyper aggro sword too. Got Abyss is quietly popular in our area, really. Dragon makes all the noise, but then there's quite a bit of people that have picked up Abyss as well. So we want to make sure that we see her early often so we can get that spread damage going. We have 3 copies of the GOAT, Marilyn. I love her so much. Search out any spell in your deck. We do have a combo in this deck, which is Merlin with our Demonic Strike. Merlin can search out Demonic Strike, which is a 1-of in our deck. Demonic Strike is the easy burn for 3, burn 3 on a follower, burn 3 at the enemy. But then you can Evo Merlin and use Demonic Strike and burn again. There is a play where I believe if you're like at 8 play points, you can summon her, search this out, burn them for 3, Evo Merlin, burn for 3. So you can actually burn for 6 on like 8 play points with a Merlin Evo. So really Merlin is the strongest Runecraft card right now, and she's, you know, in competitive decks, she is featured everywhere. She is absolutely amazing and beautiful. 3 copies of our Runic Guardian. We already saw what she does. We need our ward. We can either make a magic sediment token, or she can turn herself, give her +1/+2, turning herself into a 4/6. 4/6 with ward, really nice. Again, I actually do like to use her a little bit more offensively as well. If I can get her out on curve, don't need to ward up. I can just wait, can wait a turn. Maybe I can hit, maybe I'll take some damage, sure, but then I can retaliate back, hit the opponent for 4, have her ward up for 6, and now she's a big 4/6 ward that can knock out most things that try to run into her. Really, when I look at the ward, I wanted to see how many cards does my opponent need to commit to getting rid of this. How many attacks, how many cards do they need to commit to getting rid of this card off of my board, and that's why I really like her. Obviously, our Demonic Strike to burn. 2 copies of Price of Magic. This is kind of our Priest of the Cudgel, so to speak, but we can ban something with 4 defense or less in the field, and we got a stack for Earth Sigil, so that's really nice. 3 copies of Erd. You can cut her down to 2 if you want to. I think two is also warranted. It's just a card that you want to see, especially against your Dragoncraft matchup. You want to definitely see this card to be able to push like a Fafnir, push something huge into the EX area, then you evil her to banish it. So she's really she's just really good for big cards, big threatening units. Dropping her on a Floral Fencer after you baited them into going Floral Fencer, you can fire chain to turn, give those, then drop the Erd, evo the Erd, banish the Floral Fencer. Really nice. 1 execution again is something where, again, against the dragon matchup, you want to hold 4 play points going into their turn, and if they want to drop Genesis Dragon, you're holding 4, so you're going to threaten the execution. Also, it's another 1-of spell card that that Merlin can search out as well, so really, really strong. Golem Protection, another card that Merlin can search out, but gives us 2 guard from golems, and if we Earthright, gives them +1/+1, turning them into 3/4s with ward. Amazing. Plus, this works in tandem with our Mithril Golem, who will become a 6/7. Huge. 2 copies of Juno Secret Lab. The reason why we went down to 2 copies because this card is a bit of a clog. Like, yes, we do want to see this card, and when we see it, great, but it is a bit of a clog. You don't want to have more than 1 copy of her on the board. She is a self-generating amulet that can generate us golems or sediment tokens like crazy, which is great. But this deck does play a lot of cards to the board between our golems, followers, and our amulet. So because board space is so tight, we can't afford to have 2 copies of her on the board and produce what I would consider an effective board. So getting 1 of her onto the field and then just leave, because she'll stay on there pretty much the whole game, since there's not a lot of amulet removal outside of really execution. And I don't know if your opponent wants to waste an execution on a Juno Secret Lab, but once we give 2 copies, it's fine, because when we see it, we get on the board and she stays there forever. 2 copies of Mithril Golem, big spread damage. It's a golem, so when we drop it, when we have an evolved Ancient Alchemist, we could drop it for 5, so we drop it for 1 less, deal 3 damage to things. Don't know if we'll ever get to Spell Chain 7 for his ability, but we still drop that, deal 3 damage, spread damage thing. Then we have a threatening 5/6 unit, or if you activate Golem Protection after dropping him, a 6/7 unit on the board that's gonna hit hard, run over things, or run into your opponent. Really strong card. I really didn't value this card at first, but it's like, this card is a big golem, and it really fits the theme of what this deck wants to bring out. And then obviously our old man Erasmus, Arch Summon Erasmus, hit something for 6, burn 2, hit something for 6, burn 2, double Earthright on play, and then when you tap him, just a fantastic card for like late game, getting that burn damage. If we can put them in a bad position, dealing some burn damage, pinging them for damage, knocking their HP low, and then we can drop this guy like on curve turn 7, turn 8, whatever it is, really get that burn, and then he's just a big 6/8 body that your opponent has to deal with. And again, the more cards your opponent commits to destroying this cards, or the more play points in the turn that they would commit to getting rid of these types of cards, the better it is for us, because then that allows us they lose tempo and we will have a stronger follow-up play. Then for the Evolve deck, 2 Crafty Warlock. Again, we just want to get that extra stack. Really good early Evo target for a 3/3. Ancient Alchemist, our pseudo boss card, 3/6, strong, healthy body that we want to just have her sit there on the board. We summon golems, we burn, we get close to winning the game. 2 copies of Demon Flame Mage so we can get that spread damage. 2 copies of Merlin, because we can activate 3 play point spell for free in our cemetery. We can Evo Merlin, activate Demonic Strike, burn them for 3. Great. If you need to get some type of spread damage, deal with something important on the board, we got Fire Chain. So all in all, Merlin is such a good unit. It's seen across all Runecraft decks. And then we got our 2 copies of Erd. Really, again, 2 copies of Erd just so that we can remove those big targets, remove the Fafnir, remove the Genesis Dragon that's just sitting on the board that they're slammed into your ward or slammed into you, whatever it is. But get rid of it, get it off the board, and then move on. The deck code is right here, BVJ8. That will be also in the description box below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this competitive version of Dirt. Again, if I make any changes, I will be updating this. But let me know what you guys' lists are. Let me know what you guys are also playing. Let's conversate. Let's figure this stuff out together. Let's start winning tournaments with some Runecraft. All right. This is Cardfight King of the Otherverse SVE, and I'm out of here.